coach, you got to be excited about this pitching staff coming back this season.
Yeah, anytime you get your 4 starters coming back from the prior year, and it's a good feeling. It's a nice comfort to know this. They're established guys that you're going to get out of them. A couple guys have gotten better, and it should be a fun year.
Do you have this about the bullpen a little bit? Obviously, a lot of young guys should have used from there.
A lot of young guys. I think the biggest question is who's going to be the closer. It's not to say we don't have guys capable of doing it. We just don't have anyone that has done it on a consistent basis. But you can go with A.J. Salcedo, the senior, and you got 3 freshmen that have pitched really well all fall and all spring, and Brian Garcia, Danny Garcia, Cooper Hammond. Adam Sargent's been throwing the ball well this spring. So there's a lot of options there, just finding the right fit and the right rotation that works.
Coach, rookie mistake. I didn't have the mic on, so I got to ask you that question again. Just talk about having, your staff pretty much coming back. Yeah, it seems like it, right? You just talk about just having that, staff coming back.
It's always good to have 4 starters returning for another year. 2 guys were some form of All-Americans last year, and then you got Andy Suarez, which I think the most improvement of any of the guys, and Javi Salas in the week they were in the spot. So it's a comfortable feeling.
Just with Suarez, what improvements? What's the biggest improvement he's made?
Well, Suarez, as a sophomore in high school when he first committed to us, I thought he was going to be a first-round draft pick. Had a couple of injuries his junior and senior year in high school, and it kind of showed coming in as a freshman. And had that fixed. Pitched all year last year. Had a good year, but not what he's capable of doing. And he's just healthy now. Had a big increase in velocity, and his stuff is just that much better now.
Have you identified guys that, at the very least, you rely on early in the season out of the bullpen?
We got ideas. AJ's definitely been one of those guys. The 2 Garcias, no relation there, but right-hander Brian and Danny, the left-hander, is going to have key roles. And Cooper Hammond, which his whole life has been a closer, really, so he's very comfortable in that late in the game.
Just with Cooper, the year he had last year, it's got to be pretty impressive. And how's that translated to fall ball and to spring?
Well, the fall, he had an unbelievable fall. Yeah, he gave 1 run his first outing, and that was it for the fall. Not quite as good in the spring so far, but it's like anything else. Guys have seen him a lot now, and they know what to expect and what to look for. So it's gonna be tough for him to get those guys out. I think Sam Robinson didn't get many outs in inter squad his whole career here, but he had a great stats, great numbers for us in games. So the thing about him is he's done it before. He's been there to close games out, and that's probably the toughest inning to pitch in baseball is that 9th inning.
Cooper's still using the same motion that he was in high school?
Yes, he's a submarine guy. That his fastball's got top spin, it's almost a curveball, and he's got that slow sweeping, slider that he throws.
Diaz was one of the most underrated guys in the ACC last year, not from a statistical standpoint, but just from an overall conversation standpoint. Have you seen improvement out of him, and can you basically just roll the ball out every Friday night and expect him to give you 8 solid innings?
Well, he's our consistent, most consistent guy probably, and I guess he didn't win as many games as he should have won last year. In one stretch, he gave up 2 earned runs and was 0-2 in a 4-game stretch. So, I can't say he's underrated because the ERA he put up last year, the numbers he put up last year was great. So, it's just the determination to win games and be the ace of a great staff is what motivates him.
It's the best starting rotation we've had.
Most complete. We've had a pretty good 1-2 punches in the past with Chris Hernandez and Eric Erickson, but as far as having 4 guys across the board, this is definitely the most complete starting rotation we've had.
How rare is that? For a college team comes back.
For us, it's very rare. We don't normally have too many seniors, and the fact to have Radzuski come back after getting drafted pretty good last year, and Salas got drafted a little later, but coming back as a senior, you don't see that too often. Suarez and Diaz are both in the 3rd year, so not too often do they come together. Some guys stay behind, and the other guys develop the way you think they were going to develop, and it all comes together.
Just going with AJ, obviously didn't have the year that he would have liked last year. What have you seen from him this year? It sounds like things are going better for him.
Well, I think just in talking with AJ, he not that he thinks he has to be the closer, but he expects to be, and he understands that he needs to have a good year for this team to be successful. The bullpen's going to win and lose games for you. We have 4 great starters, but they're going to give us a chance to win every night. It's going to be in those guys' hands late in the game to win it, and he understands he has to have a good year for this team to be successful.
You're seeing signs of how he was a couple years ago.
Yeah, the confidence is back. The leadership is there. His stuff I don't think it was any worse last year than the year before. Just the results weren't quite the same. And an error here, a bloop single there, and you can just kind of see his confidence, losing his confidence a little bit, and I think he's got that chip on his shoulder this year.
Knowing that the starters won't be here forever, how important is it to not only identify arms for the bullpen but for the rotation going forward?
Around here, it's 1 year at a time, and win games this year, and you don't know what's going to happen next year as far as guys' development, and anything could happen, but just 1 year at a time. We've got our hands full with the 14th season to be worried about the 15th for now.
Awesome. You mentioned coaches talked a lot about how much the offense has improved. Does that help guys in sort of inter-squad games, having better competition theoretically? Right?
Always, the better competition you face, the better you're going to get. And it's shown. Or in the fall, pitching dominated, and the spring, it's the hitters caught up. And because when you see the same pitching over and over and over, it's the hitter's going to get the advantage. But you can see up and down the line, it's a more dangerous hitters, bigger, stronger, more physical players. And we definitely addressed that with our recruiting classes here. It's showing on the field.
All right, thank you.